Good afternoon, everybody. This is Adrienne Montgomery. I'm with ERPVAR, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us. Today, we're going to be talking about Sage 100 and a new up-and-coming product, Accelerated Artificial Intelligence and Predictive Analytics, plus e-commerce and payments, and a little bit about the speakers and the company. Tony Levy, he's the VP of Product Development over at Ubics. He'll be presenting the data analytics and artificial intelligence. Simon Quinn, Director of Sales over at Certapro. He'll be talking about the e-commerce Magento interface with Sage 100. And Nick Young will support Simon in giving an in-depth product demonstration. And Maya Green, he's a partner over at VIP Integrated Payments, and he'll be talking about payments integration with Sage 100. A little bit about the companies. Ubics is a data science platform designed to allow business users and subject matter experts to solve complex analytic problems without relying on data scientists. Ubics manages the complete AI lifecycle by automating and scaling all the key tasks across the end-to-end data and analytics pipeline in Sage. And Ubics helps the Sage user at all skill levels to contribute to the development of the AI inside of Sage 100 and scale the information across the platform. And Certapro is based in Los Angeles. They're a leader in integrating Magento with Sage 100. The Magento integration is powered by Elink, and it's a two-way integrator that handles all the data connection points for business partner portals, B2B, B2C, e-commerce needs. They're a Magento technology partner, and they have a team of Sage certified developers, CPAs, and software programmers that they can leverage 20 years of experience in supporting Sage 100 and the integrations that they've developed. And they really have expertise with distribution and e-commerce in Sage 100. VIP Integrated Payments is a leading provider of integrated payment technology solutions to North American merchants, and they offer multiple platforms of integrated payments. So they'll look at the customer and they will recommend the best solution, the best payment solution given the individual environment of the customer. So they have that broad suite of end-to-end payment solutions they can choose from. And they have great customer support that's US based, and they have a diversified network of certified Sage 100 partners and alliances. So they've been doing this for over 10 years, and they integrate those relationships into each partnership, into each customer that goes with VIP Integrated Payments and supporting them. So they have a network of those experts that know Sage 100 really well, and then they combined with their expertise for payments. It's a great team effort. And a little bit about the workflow here. We'll slice the information out of Sage 100 using their AI and predictive analytics platform. Certapro will take the data from Sage 100 and the customer will enter their customer order into the Magento shopping cart and will send the information to Sage 100, read and write the information from that shopping cart. And then Sage 100 will serve up the information back to Certapro and to the Magento interface where tracking numbers, payments, payment confirmation, and everything will be reflected in the Magento shopping cart. And VIP Integrated Payments will get the best level 3 payment available for that particular order. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tony get started, and Tony's going to be talking about Ubics. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, thank you, Adrienne, and good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Ubics, let me just say that we're thrilled and excited to be here today in partnership with ERPVAR, Certapro, and VIP Integrated Payments to describe how you can combine new capabilities with Sage 100 to unlock business value in these uncertain times. Think of Ubics as an advanced analytics and data science platform designed to help business users and domain experts such as business analysts, financial analysts, demand planners, inventory analysts, production planners, solve analytic challenges that were never before possible, fast, reliably, and affordably. This is the next big wave in unlocking business value for mid-market companies in all industries and geographies. So why is this important? Why now and why Ubics? The short answer is unprecedented volatility, uncertainty, and risk. In a world where demand for products is uncertain, supply is at risk, and input commodity prices are highly volatile, every company needs new analytic tools and disciplines to anticipate and shape business outcomes more effectively. Traditional ERP and reporting tools alone cannot address the analytic opportunities that exist from the front office to the back office, from customer analytics and demand forecasting to production and procurement. Ubics extends Sage 100 to empower business users to address these high-value analytic challenges with data science and advanced analytics. And for those of you that are value-added resellers of Sage 100, we want to partner with you to serve the mid-market. We offer aggressive VAR program to help you grow revenue with low overhead, 40% margin, 25% renewal bonus, and automated onboarding of customers are just some of the features designed to reward you for productivity and business growth. Now, modern business systems like Sage 100 are already providing flexible, on-demand digitization of core business operations, driving digital transformation. Now, with the advent of data science and advanced analytics, organizations can now analyze unprecedented volumes of data from disparate sources faster, continuously, and cost-effectively to drive new insights throughout the enterprise. We call this the era of the intelligent business, where intelligent processes and applications tap into internal and external data sources to generate new insights and foresight that drive intelligent action for greater business impact. At its core, Ubics helps transform the way you measure, monitor, and analyze operational and financial data to drive better decision-making. Ubics helps you shift from the left side of the slide to the right side, from an over-reliance on human intuition to deriving new insights from data to augment human judgment, from an over-reliance on manual spreadsheets and traditional reporting tools to leveraging modern cloud analytics and automation, from an over-reliance on historical internal data to using external causal drivers such as, say, weather or commodity indices to augment historical data that creates new insights so that you can drive greater business impact. So, Ubics is an advanced analytics platform. It manages the end-to-end analytic data science lifecycle and bridges the gap between business users and data scientists. While other data science platforms focus on Python developers and data scientists, Ubics focuses on domain experts such as business analysts, financial analysts, demand planners, and more. We believe that until the domain expert is brought into the analytics process early, data science will not be abundant, reliable, and cost-effective. With Ubics, companies can leverage Sage 100 and existing infrastructure, combine both internal and external data, such as I mentioned earlier, weather, commodity index data, microeconomic indices, to generate new insights. Specifically, our platform ingests and assembles data. We enable business users to build analytic solutions that they put into production, and these solutions then create new inferences and predictions that are passed to the appropriate end user applications. This way, data science-enabled processes and applications can be built quickly and cost-effectively to deliver timely, reliable foresight and intelligent action. We help you become smarter without hiring more people. Now, because Ubics is a general purpose data science platform, we address any number of data types and use cases from the front office to the back office. Here is a list of just a few high value use cases. For example, sales pipeline conversion modeling is about analyzing the data in a sales pipeline. Perhaps a company is using a Salesforce automation tool or simply a spreadsheet to store these data. By looking at customer interactions and various attributes of sales opportunities, we can build models that predict the likelihood to convert a sales opportunity into a win or a loss or no deal. This helps the company's sales and marketing teams prioritize their actions to increase win ratio and optimize resources. A Accounts receivable collections analytics allow for the modeling of customer attributes such as firmographics, payment history, to infer the likelihood that one of its customers who has missed a past due invoice will in fact pay in the next period. By segmenting customers, the AR team can optimize resources to improve collections and reduce costs. For instance, segment C is unlikely to pay. These customers can then be sold off to an outside agency. Segment B may pay. These are then sent a phone call. And segment A is very likely to pay. These are sent a reminder email. Now, demand forecasting is the most basic of use cases for the majority of hard goods companies, whether a manufacturer or distributor. By analyzing order history as well as external factors, one can create a more reliable demand forecast by time period, by SKU, and by channel. Imagine what a 30% improvement in forecast accuracy can do for a company in terms of reducing working capital requirements. Commodity procurement analytics is about using internal procurement data combined with external commodity index data to create a more reliable commodity price forecast. And when combined with demand, then the ability to make better procurement recommendations. A 3 to 5% procurement savings drops right down to the bottom line. And asset and predictive maintenance is about monitoring sensor data from manufacturing equipment to detect anomalies and predict failures. This leads to improved asset uptime and availability in order to optimize plant throughput. These are just a few examples of how data science and advanced analytics can help Sage 100 customers unlock business value. Let me share with you a customer case study. This is a $200 million a year meat processor based in the Midwest. They convert beef and pork and turkey proteins into various products for sale into two markets. The restaurant market has experienced a significant decline during the pandemic. And the other market, the specialty food and distribution market, is seeing significant growth. Now, a new CFO joined the company about 2.5 years ago to drive a digital transformation. He replaced their legacy ERP and then started to build out an analytic foundation using Snowflake as a data lake and Power BI as an analytic workbench. This is when we met the CFO, and he told us that their number one business challenge is coping with input commodity price volatility. His company is caught in the middle. On the one hand, they buy proteins on the open market, the spot market, and on the other hand, large retailers are putting pressure on price. He wants to use analytics to help his procurement team make better buy decisions. And he realized that his current analytic foundation is missing a critical component, namely a data science platform to combine both internal procurement data and third-party commodity index data to create models that forecast commodity prices going forward. The output of Ubics feeds both the ERP reporting module and Power BI as their analytic workbench. We're pursuing two use cases with this customer. The first use case creates a reliable commodity price forecast using third-party data and historical internal procurement data. And the second use case tackles the demand forecast to create a more reliable demand forecast by time period, by SKU, by channel. And once we have quantity from the demand forecast and price from the price forecast, we can then make a more reliable procurement or quantity times price recommendation. And as you can see, the business value for this particular customer is significant. A 3-cent savings per pound in procurement price is worth $1 million in annual procurement savings. This drops right down to the bottom line. The point underscores that the ROI for advanced analytics is substantial and material. Now, this case study underscores the reason that data science and advanced analytics is so important, particularly in these turbulent times where volatility, uncertainty, and risk are increasing. Advanced analytics can unlock significant business value across a range of business challenges. Now, at the heart of our strategy to deliver value quickly and affordably to mid-market companies is our solution library that you see here on this slide. Through our own efforts and those of our partners, we have access to hundreds of analytic solutions in a range of industries from retail and industrials to energy, financial services, and other. Many of these were built and have been in production for over 20 years. If one of your use cases can be addressed by one of our models, then the implementation effort's very low and the time to value is very fast. We monetize these models and sell them for annual subscription fees that range in price depending on the value they unlock. We encourage those of you that are Sage 100 resellers to partner with us to build models, and then we monetize them with you in a revenue share agreement. Revenue sharing also allows Ubics and its partners to benefit through the library's ability to drive the customer analytics journey. For instance, you can start by addressing demand planning, and then global capacity planning. Do we have enough capacity to fulfill demand? And then at the plant level, improve production planning and scheduling. And then in the warehouse, optimize safety stock levels. Then address logistics and the total supply network. You can tackle procurement, as we talked about with that case study. And then even on the shop floor, if needed, predictive maintenance of equipment on the factory floor. The opportunity to unlock business value is endless. Now, demand planning is a great place to start in all hard goods industries, from manufacturing to distribution and retail. Human judgment alone cannot cope with the volatility, uncertainty, and risk that we see in the world today. And traditional statistical forecast methods, largely based on history, are adequate at handling fast-moving items, but don't work in complex, volatile demand patterns. Demand is impacted by external drivers such as local weather, foot traffic, local demographics such as age, income levels, ethnicity, customer tastes, and social media. Our solution uses data science to combine external and internal data. It avoids overfitting the data by minimizing and pruning out factors that have little to no demand impact. The solution can apply data science not only on a product store channel level, but also at different levels of aggregation, for example, product and region, and with flexible groupings. The value opportunity is significant. Imagine the reductions in working capital requirements if a company can improve forecast accuracy by 10 to 40% and increase inventory turns by 10 to 20%. Now, for those of you who are Sage 100 resellers, data science and advanced analytics is the next big wave in the mid-market. The opportunity to unlock business value with your customers is significant and material. We want to partner with you to realize this opportunity, and we've designed an aggressive VAR program to make it worth your while. Up to 40% margin retention for every sale, 25% of year-over-year renewal bonus, 6 months of pre-sales and post-sales support at no cost, additional revenue from Ubics solutions, access to additional clients and expansion of existing clients, both for ERP and data science opportunities. You can build a breadth of services around data science and advanced analytics in addition to just ERP. And we help you automate the onboarding of customers, customer quotations, onboarding of credentials, and renewal tracking, and more. Finally, if you believe that the strategic application of analytics can help you as a Sage 100 customer gain greater speed, agility, and foresight in these uncertain times, please reach out to Miles Mahoney, our CRO. In fact, we're so confident with our ability to add value in demand planning that we're offering a complimentary 2-week demand forecasting assessment for Sage 100 customers right now, where we intake sales and order history data. We run it through our models to generate and deliver a demand forecast that looks at 4 weeks, along with key insights and recommendations. With that, I'll hand the microphone back to Adrian, and we'll answer questions during the Q&A session. Adrian?
Thank you so much, Tony. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Simon, who will talk about Certapro's Magento Sage 100 interface.
So my name is Simon Quinn. I am the Director of Sales for Certapro. Also with me, I have Nick Young, our Elink Product Manager. And today we're going to talk about and demo Certapro's Elink software. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes and provide an overview, and then Nick's going to get into the more interesting stuff, as I say, which will be a live demo of how Elink actually functions and syncs. So as you'll see, the functionality of Elink is basically to connect with Sage and allow your company to create an online business portal or a B2B, B2C website for your customers using Magento. Now, often successful online businesses, whether you're selling B2C or B2B, directly to businesses or distributors, or both, are going to reach a point where they're spending more time and money managing data in both their web portal as well as in Sage. So you're managing product information, prices, stock levels, customer information, and also web orders across 2 platforms, and that can be very problematic. It increases the risk of errors and omissions in both systems, and more importantly, affects your profit margins. So on the other hand, integration does pay for itself. The return on investment is realized over time. So Certapro has created a product called Elink, and it's a syncing technology that is a powerful tool which synchronizes data both ways. So now your Sage product and customer information can now be updated to your business portal, your B2B business portal or web store 24/7. Online orders can now be imported into Sage and are ready to be processed within minutes. And this is all completed without manually running batch jobs or any other procedures. It's automatic. So with our Elink software, the data securely flows between Sage and the web store using an encrypted connection, which makes your company's backend completely anonymous and secure, all while being PCI compliant. So having an online store or a business portal or B2B business portal means that you're open for business all the time. And our Elink software now makes it approachable and, more importantly, affordable for your business to have an online presence. So let's take a quick step back. I just want to talk about Magento and why Magento. So Magento fundamentally is an e-commerce platform. And the world's biggest brands love Magento for its flexibility because, today's consumers, the businesses, and their buying patterns are changing by the minutes. And only Magento, which is also open source and scalable, can help you adapt and grow. I mean, there's a global ecosystem of probably over 150,000 developers now. And with a Sage business partner like Certapro, using Magento can boost your online sales while maximizing gross margins. Basically, Magento businesses sell more at a lower total cost of operation than any other e-commerce platform that's out there. Also, the Magento marketplace is the world's largest and most versatile, so they offer customized and tested extensions. Magento powers more merchants on the internet than any other platform, which is why Certapro is a Magento technology partner. So I'm going to hand this over to Nick, but real quick, I just want to talk about how does Elink work. So Elink is actually 2 parts. So one is an API that runs on top of the Sage server that allows us to talk to Sage using the Sage business objects. So with Elink, if a customer comes in, creates an order, it actually creates the order as if they're tabbing through all the fields in Sage. So it's not putting data in a database, if you will. What that means is any business logic that you have built into Sage, we're going to be following all the same business logic with the Elink API. It's going to load all the customer defaults. So basically, it's going to populate all the fields that you expect it to be populated. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Nick, who's going to perform a live demo and kind of show you what I just covered, and we'll do some transactions. Nick, over to you.
Thank you, Simon. Okay, so I'm just going to go through showing you what Simon just talked about. So here's just a fresh install of Magento. We installed our Elink enhancement in Sage and our Elink extensions inside of Magento. So this is all out of the box functionality for our Elink product. So I'll just head over to a product page on the eStore, and you can see we have our products here. You can choose whether to set up your products in Sage or directly in Magento. You can link them between the SKU and the item number in Sage. So we bring over product descriptions, inventory levels, so you can control in stock and out of stock on your website. And then we also bring over all of the custom pricing from Sage. So depending on the logged in customer, your customer will see the price just as it's set up in Sage. We deal with quantity breaks. We deal with contract pricing for the products, and also customer price levels. So however you set up your pricing in Sage, you don't have to go set it up twice on the web or do imports and exports of price. It'll just automatically come over to the web. So we'll just grab a couple of products from the this tops page and add them to our cart. And then I'll run through doing an actual order, and I'll show you how that goes into Sage. So So we'll go to the checkout, and once we get to the checkout, you'll see that we have some addresses at the top. We're bringing over all of the customer address information from Sage. So when your customer registers online and they link their account, or you create the account for them and link it to their existing customer number, if you have an existing relationship, all of their address information is going to come into the web for them. So they don't have to retype their addresses, or you don't have to worry about re-verifying those addresses. So I'm just going to pick the default address for shipping. We'll just pick a default shipping method. And over to payments. So we include two payment methods with our solution. We have our credit card extension, which works with all of the Sage integrated credit card processors. So we'll do the pre-auth on the web, and then we'll do the actual, we'll bring the transaction over into Sage. And so if you're using Paya or APS or Sentry, we'll do the post authorization will happen during your invoicing in Sage. And then we have our bill me method, and this method is actually connected to the customer's payment terms in Sage, as well as the credit hold. So you can set up which payment terms are credit card only and which ones are basically your terms customers. And this will appear or disappear depending on their terms in Sage. For this, I'm going to go ahead and check out with the credit card just so I can show you how that pre-auth happens and the transaction comes in Sage. I'll just use the same Sage saved card that I have here, and we'll go put in a CVV code. And then we'll place an order. So this is going to put an order into the queue inside of Magento. So we're using what I call live syncing system. So if your Sage is not available, or it's your internet connection at your office is down, or for whatever reason Sage can't be contacted, everything on the web will stay up 100% of the time. So this will just go into a queue, and as soon as Sage becomes available, it will automatically start syncing in the background. So you can see this is sitting up here in pending orders. It's waiting to be synced to Sage. So this will take anywhere from 5 seconds to 1 minute, depending on the connection. So if I refresh this page, you can see that order moved from pending orders, and now it's down here in accepted orders along with the actual Sage sales order number. If we view this order, this information is actually coming back from Sage. So if you made changes inside of Sage and you update your quantities or your pricing, even if you add products to this order, they'll show up on the customer's portal so they can track the actual progress of that order. One thing to note is if you look in sales orders here, we have a few Sage sales orders here. This middle one doesn't even have a web order number with it. We're bringing all of the sales order information from Sage into the customer's portal on the web. So customer service enters an order directly into Sage. Customer goes and looks at their online account. They're going to see the Sage sales order information here, along with all of the products and information. The products don't even have to exist on your web store. If they're in Sage, we'll bring that into their account so that they can see the actual sales order and track the progress in the invoices. We will go ahead and head over to Sage, and I'll show you that order. You saw that when we placed that order, we got a confirmation number, or we call the web order number. We bring that web order number in, so if your customer calls in and all they have is their confirmation email, since that order was not yet exported to Sage, customer service will be able to look up that order by that same confirmation number here as well. You can see this is telling me we did do a pre-authorization on the credit card. And if we look at the payment tab here, you can see we actually have the actual credit card information here, just as if we entered it directly into this form. So the post authorization will happen during your invoicing, update process, just like every other order where you enter the credit card directly into the sales order. What Simon was talking about, we're using the business object. So as soon as we put the customer number into here, it's going to load all the customer defaults. So any custom logic that you have built into your sales order, that's still going to be followed. Include if there was any errors, then this would be stuck in the queue with those errors as well. And you can handle those errors and then export the order whenever you're ready. So you can see we brought over the address information from the customer, and then these are those two shirts that I checked out with. So I'm going to go ahead and manually invoice this. So we'll create an invoice and we'll pull in that sales order. I'm going to enter some tracking numbers manually here, if you're using any sort of shipping software, Starship or whatever it might be that's writing back to the standard tracking table, we'll grab those tracking numbers. So this will have automatic integration with things like Starship or other shipping solutions that integrate with Sage. And then we'll just go ahead and ship this complete and let that sync back to the web. While that syncs, I'm going to show you a couple of other things we have. We placed that order by going through a shopping experience where we went to women's tops, we searched for a product, we added to the cart, checked out. We also have our quick order entry form, which is more for B2B customers or a PO type entry experience. Customers can come in, they can type the SKU of the product they're wishing to order, or they can search by product SKU or description very quickly in the list and add to their order. Here they get a immediate availability check. You can have this actually show actual stock if you wanted to, or the in stock, out of stock, or low stock that's built into Magento. And then we have all of the pricing from Sage. If there were quantity breaks, I could mouse over this and it would show all of the quantity breakdown as well. Once I hit add to cart and check out, this is going to add all of these products to the cart and go directly to the checkout. So it's very much like entering a PO and submitting it. You don't have to worry about all of the shopping experience that goes along with the B2C site. I'm going to go back to the sales orders, and you can see now that sales order that we had placed now has an invoice attached to it. We also have our invoice view where we can look for orders, search by orders by invoice instead. And you can see we have that same invoice. Here's a link to the sales order and then that tracking information that we had in there. There's links back and forth to all of the transactions. So if I'm looking at the sales order, at the bottom of the sales order, I have the invoice, invoice information along with the tracking numbers. If there are multiple invoices, they would show here. And if I'm looking at the actual invoice, then at the bottom of the invoice, I have the shipment information and a link back to the sales order. So no matter where I'm looking at this on my account, I can always get to the different screens. All of our screens, so here's the invoice, has a print version. You can set this up to look like your actual printed invoice form. So your customers can come online, they can open an invoice and they can actually print a copy without having to call customer service and have it faxed or emailed. You can just open and print copies of your invoices directly from your web portal. Once you have an invoice that, say, we didn't place with a credit card, then you want to be able to accept payments on that. So we have our payments extension, which has all the customer's payment history. Again, we don't care where the payments originated from. Here are some checks that the customer sent in. Here's a credit card payment that was made online. Customer has a complete view of their payment history here. And then they can also choose to make a payment where they can use the credit cards that they had during checkout. So if I saved a payment method during checkout, I have that available to me when I make a payment here. Also, if the processor supports ACH, they can also, you can allow them to make ACH payments also, where they can put in their routing and bank account information and make that payment as well. So for here, we'll just put in that same credit card and then we'll add from our invoices. I can partially pay an invoice if you allow the customer to do that. So I only want to pay $1,000 on this old invoice and add that to my grid. So I'll be making a $2,300 payment for these two invoices, and I'm only doing $1,000 on the second one. Once I hit place payment, this is actually going to do a charge on the credit card, not a pre-authorization. And then this will be exported into Sage, already applied to the invoices in the way that I chose here. So you don't have to worry about any sort of manual entry for this payment. You don't have to try to figure out what the customer was trying to pay with the check. However they selected the amounts that they were paying on the invoices, that's how the applications will happen on the cash receipt that goes into Sage. This works like the sales orders, where it's pending until it's exported to Sage. However, this will not move down to payment history until you actually post you do your end of day on this. The reason being is this amount is not actually in the customer's balance until you do the update at the end of the day. So we have a few other extensions and integrations with Sage. We can integrate with the RMAs. We have a My Products extension that allows you to have customer specific products that you maintain in inside Sage where only that customer or a group of customers can see those products. We have native apps, and then we also have an extension that allows you to have a parent-child customer relationship where a parent customer can log into Magento and then they can choose from all of the different Sage customer accounts they have access to and basically act on behalf of those customers. If you need to see any of that additional things, please contact us for an in-depth demo. For now, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Simon to wrap up, but I appreciate everybody who joined us.
I'm just going to take 30 seconds and wrap up here. I know that I just wanted to talk about what Certapro, what we can do for you. We know that from our experience that no two web portals, B2B web portals or B2C websites are the same. Every site's going to have a unique look and feel. So Certapro is not only a Gold Sage development partner, but we are a Magento technology partner also, and we have Magento developers in-house. So if it's an end-to-end solution, an e-commerce solution that you need, we can manage the entire process for you. If you just need the Elink software piece to connect Sage to your existing website, we can work with your Sage business partner or web development team to provide recommendations and solutions to get that accomplished. We'll wait for questions at the end of this. So thanks everybody, and we'll hand this over to Mia at VIP Payments.
Hi guys, this is Maya Green, VIP Integrated Payments. I'm the CEO. What we'll do today is we'll walk through, we'll kind of give a little bit of an education on payments. We won't go through everything. We'll just kind of walk through what we do, the differentiators, and some tips and tricks. So with that, let's get started. So the agenda today with us is we'll talk a little bit about who we are, payments contracts, third-party uninstall process, and that's with integrated payments. Any third party outside of one that wasn't developed by the Sage R&D team, you have an uninstall and install process that's a little bit tricky. Again, that's just referring to integrated payments. We'll talk about rate negotiation, how to support your industry, equipment leasing, grossly overstated savings, 24/7 real-time support, and why to work with a payments consultant. And we'll talk about, setting you guys up for a live Sage 100 payments demo. We can do that for any of your clients. We could do it for end users. We can, do webinars or whatever the case may be, whatever you guys need. So we are independent facilitators of integrated payments. What that means is that we offer multiple options. We have some of our own technology and we leverage other technologies to basically build the best, most customized payment solution for the client. Again, we do it on a multiple platform model, meaning that we don't have to pigeonhole you or your clients into one solution. We provide an end-to-end suite of payment solutions from Sage 100 all the way through SAP, Oracle. We do Intact. We do anything that you can think of. We have and facilitate the integrated payments accounts for that. We do the service and support as well, and that is all free. We work with a diversified network of partners and alliances, Sage partners for over 15 years, and we take care of everything from the setup to the service, the support going forward, and none of the clients that we set up are ever on long-term contracts. We've been involved in over 3,500 Sage 100 payments installs from, all versions all the way back from when the integration came out, I believe in 2006. The real goal is to become the go-to integrated payments consultants. And when I say consultants, regardless of if you go with us or not, we're going to help you. We're going to educate you. We're going to educate the clients, end users, and make sure that everybody knows what the best course of action is going forward, which is also why we offer the multiple platform model. We offer industry differentiating products, and what that means is we work together with Certapro, with Starship, with Ubics. We put together an end-to-end suite to assist in the day-to-day process. We are ETA certified payments professionals. It's a requirement to work with VIP. Basically what that is it's kind of like a payment processing degree. You have to sign a code of conduct and some other things that you'll operate in a way that would be befitting of payments professional. So we'll talk about early termination fees and long-term contracts. So the term of most agreements when you're talking about payments is a 3-year or 36-month term. A lot of times what happens is they'll have renewable auto renew of 1 year. Some actually have a renewal of 3 years. So if you don't cancel within a certain amount of time, you will basically be renewed for another 3 years. This is kind of the case in this contract. We did take it from one of the integrated payments providers contract. We can talk about that further if you have questions in the Q&A. Indemnification, what this is it's just insurance for both parties. And most of the time in payments, what you'll run into is a one-sided indemnification. Basically, the processor is being covered by you, but you're not being covered by the processor. What you want to look for is a mutual indemnification. Liquidated damages. There are several different versions of this, but what it is when you sign up for a term agreement with a payment processor, what you will have is you'll have a 36-month term that you have to follow through with if you want to get out of it before the 36 months is over. Generally, there's a penalty. A lot of times it's $25 a month times the remaining months on the contract. Again, with this integrated payments provider, you are basically going to pay them whatever they profited on you times the remaining months on the account, plus if they paid for any upgrades or any equipment or any service or support. Is basically open-ended. So you just have to be really, really careful when you're talking to payment service providers to get their terms and conditions and look through them. And we'd be happy to help with that too. It's one of those things that we add as a service. And again, we never sign clients up with long-term contracts. It's always month to month. And that's what I would say, regardless of who you're with, regardless of if you work with us or your clients work with us, you make sure that you have a month-to-month contract so you're not held to anything financially, because in this exclusivity clause here, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. With ERP clients, a lot of times you're processing, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and these guys are profiting a lot of money on you. So the hit could be big. Always check the install and uninstall guides when you're looking at third-party solutions. Again, anything that wasn't built by Sage, owned by Sage originally, or that Sage didn't have something to do with designing. A lot of times what you're going to run into is a problematic install and uninstall process. When it comes right down to it, the install process isn't the problem. It's really the uninstall process. And what you find is when you go with certain providers that are third parties, not, again, built by the Sage R&D team, you have a situation where when you go to uninstall it, they have put files on, the library master, AR, GL, a bunch of different places. And if you don't get them all out, it will air your system out. So if you want to change payments providers, it's pretty difficult. So what they recommend here, and this is just taken off of install guide from one of the third-party payments vendors that you guys probably know and like, they recommend just uninstalling the whole library master, essentially, all of your add-on products, everything, and then reinstalling it to get rid of them. Again, it's a pain. We've been through it a lot. We know how to do it, but always just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at payment service providers. How to negotiate low rates. One is really knowing the effective rates of your industry, kind of where you should be. It's one of the things that we help you with. We generally, as a good rule of thumb, tell you to never provide your merchant statement up front. Get a quote up front and put your foot in the ground on it. Just say, give me what you have, and then after the fact, you can provide your merchant statement if they still need it. Always require an annual rate review. What that means is hold their feet to the fire every 6 months, 12 months, have them take a peek at it, see if there's anything that they can do better. It's one of the things that we can help with too. We can always facilitate those rate reviews for your merchant service provider. We kind of have the tricks to get it done for you, and we're happy to help with that. We're not asking you to switch providers. We're just telling you that we can help you get it done. Never, ever accept a tiered pricing structure. It's the least transparent way to price when you're talking about merchant services. We can talk about it a little bit more, but if you have a tiered pricing structure, you're not on a flat rate or interchange pricing structure, also known as cost plus. You definitely want to be on one of those, cost plus, interchange plus, or flat rate. Never a tiered pricing structure. It basically doesn't allow you to see what you're paying to the processor and to Visa, MasterCard. You want to have as much information as possible, and always request to work with somebody important, a manager, never a commissioned employee, just because you never know if they're going to be there. You run into that a lot with payment service providers because they've moved on. Somebody's sweetened the pot for the guy that you worked with, and they left. Maybe they went to sell cars or something. But that's kind of the people that you end up working with in this industry. So you got to work with somebody you trust, somebody that your Sage reseller trusts, and we tend to be the go-to guys in that area. We're happy to help regardless. Always work with a payments consultant that knows your industry. So Sage 100, you have a lot of wholesale distribution, manufacturing, construction, services, chemical, food and beverage, nonprofit. Again, we've done 3,500 or a little over 3,500 payments installs. There's probably not a situation that we haven't seen. So we generally know how to fix what the issue is. We're happy to help you regardless of if you work with us. Doesn't matter who you're processing with. We can do a screen share, WebEx, help you guys out and knock the problem out in no time. We're not going to charge you for it. We're not going to charge the partner for it. So we're always happy to lend a hand where we can. Equipment leasing, we also call it fleecing because it's kind of like leasing a car, right? You never get the value out of it. They're very inexpensive to buy outright if you know where to look. And a lot of times we just give the equipment away if clients need terminals. Nowadays you have less in-person, business being done. So you generally don't have to worry about providing a terminal or, having a terminal there in-house, but some people do. We generally provided it at no cost. If you need multiple terminals, we'll come up with something that works, but never ever lease the equipment because you're paying 50 times what the terminal's worth, and a lot of times it doesn't come with a warranty either, so you actually have to re-sign a new lease. A lot of times, again, free equipment, generally you're looking at a long-term contract. We never do that. We provide it. If you guys are up and processing, we're making money. The platform's making money, you're making money, and so there's no reason to charge for the terminals in most cases unless you need a huge quantity of terminals. So when you get a rate quote, a lot of times what's happening nowadays is you're having guys give you the rate quote that's grossly overstating the savings. And there you'll hear some key terms like level 2 and level 3, interchange optimization, business to business transaction, things like that. And a lot of places do this well and some don't do it as well as they say that they do. What you're going to run into if you do a lot of business to business, commercial, the clients that you are working with use a business card or commercial card, then you will get level 2 and level 3 interchange optimization if the payment platform or the gateway provides that data pass when the transaction's authorized. So what you want to keep in mind is if you look down here on the total monthly savings and then you look right up here on the level 3 savings, what they're doing here is they're saying the majority of the cards that this client has taken, 602 transactions out of 693, are interchange optimized. And so what you have to remember is that you're probably going to get, at best case scenario, 30% of your cards will be interchange optimized, and that's because of the card type that they are, if the gateway does it. So when they say 95% of your cards are interchange optimized, you're going to save, $3,800 a month. It's probably overstated by quite a bit. This merchant would be lucky to probably save $500 or $600 a month, but you're also going to be a little annoyed when you get 3 months down the road, you signed a long-term contract, maybe even got some equipment that you leased, and the savings comes out to be, $250 to $500 a month and not $3,800. Savings is savings, but at the end of the day, it's still, you want to work with somebody that's honest, that's going to show you how they got there. So never accept a rate quote that you can see is overstated, that looks too good to be true. Our business is all about support, and that's why we offer support to clients that aren't ours. Any clients that you have that need help, regardless of if they're ours, we would be happy to help. Doesn't matter the platform for payments that they're on. Doesn't matter, if they need to be led to one of our third-party vendors that we partner with, we'll, help facilitate that. We're always willing to help, and we're here 24/7. Tom and I always provide our personal information. We'll give you the information to our team as well, but we kind of look at it like if you get to us first, we can route the call correctly to the right person, and we can get it done in a timely fashion, so you don't have to wait. Payments consultants. Again, I know I've said it over and over throughout this call. They generally have the heart of a teacher. So you want to be educated. You want to, work with somebody that's going to help you and that you trust. They're generally a neutral party, and that's, how we operate. We will always work to find you efficiencies, savings, and the gotchas like in the contracts that others don't. And we will offer multiple options. In this industry, in the Sage channel, I believe that we're the only ones doing this. Most of the time you're looking at somebody that wants you to use their solution, and that's it. When it comes to payments, again, we offer most of the solutions out there. We support most of the solutions out there, and we're going to tell you, the positives and negatives of everything, and let it be your choice as to what you use. So again, we're happy to help where we can. We're more than happy to, kind of walk you down whatever it is that you need. And we appreciate you sitting in on this call today. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out, and we'll answer any questions that you have on the Q&A here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Maya. Stay safe, and thanks again for joining. Take care. Have a great day.